Okay, the last pretty important algebra concept we have that's important for geometry is going to be the coordinate plane, in particular slopes of lines. So we have the slope formula up at the top of the page here. We take the two y coordinates and subtract them in the numerator, and we take the two x coordinates and subtract them in the denominator. So what I would do in the first example, and you can do this in either order. I'll show you both so you can see what I mean. I know we have a y2 and a y1. Sometimes we might label them first. But what I'm going to do here is just take the first y coordinate I see, which is 4, minus the other y coordinate, which is 10. Okay, that's one way that I can do this. And then in the denominator, I take the first x coordinate I see, which is 2, and subtract 4 from that. Okay, now what happens when I do that? I get negative 6 over negative 2, and I can just simplify that to 3 over 1, or just 3. You can say either one of those for the slope. Now suppose we did it in the opposite order, which a lot of times you'll see people do. They would say 10, the second y coordinate, minus 4, the first y coordinate. So I'm going to write over here. I might get a little bit better response if I write on this side here. I'm going to take 10 minus 4, so second y coordinate minus the first. 10 minus 4 over 4 minus 2. And what happens now? We get 6 over 2, which simplifies to 3 over 1, or just simply 3. We get the same answer either way is my point. So I'm always just going to I'm going to take the first coordinates I see and subtract the second coordinates. So in the next example here, I'm going to take negative 4, and I'm going to subtract from that the negative 6. And this is why we reviewed those integer skills first earlier. So I have negative 4 minus negative 6 over 7 minus 11. So remember what happens with that negative 4 minus negative 6. That's really negative 4 plus 6. 7 minus 11 is just negative 4. So I get 2 over negative 4, and we can just simplify that to negative 1/2. You can put that negative sign wherever you want. It's not letting me here. Put that negative sign with the 1, with the 2, or just simply on the outside there. Okay, negative 1/2. Okay, so let's try the next one. We'd have 4 minus negative 5. Right, 4 minus negative 5, those are my two y's, over 3 minus 3. So what happens here? I get 9 over 0. Maybe you remember from algebra, you don't. We cannot divide by 0, so this is undefined is how we would describe that. Okay, anytime you divide by 0, that slope is undefined. So try this one on your own. Okay, so what did we get for this one? Hopefully we did this right. We did 5 minus 8, and then in the denominator we should have 13 minus 13. So we get the same answer we just got. We're going to have negative 3 over 0. We would say that that is undefined. Okay. Okay, and probably the main application of algebra to geometry is this coordinate plane here. So I want to review how we go about plotting points. So I want to talk about the 4 quadrants that we look at when we see this. The first quadrant is right here where everything is positive. Okay, x is positive here, and y is also positive here. Then I move to quadrant 2. We do this counterclockwise. Maybe not the way you're used to traveling, but that's how we look at it. Quadrant 2, I'm going to look for a point that is negative on the x and positive on the y. Notice we're in the negative portion of the x-axis here, positive portion of the y. Now we come again, we keep going in counterclockwise rotation. That's quadrant 3, and this is where both coordinates are negative. The x is negative and also the y is negative. And then finally we have quadrant 4, where you're going to see the x now is positive, but we go in the negative y direction, right? The x-axis is my horizontal axis, the y-axis is my vertical axis, okay? So let me jump down to here and talk about the quadrants first, then I'll come back up and we'll plot the points so that I can keep that out there for us. The point -8, -10, what quadrant would that lie in? Well, both are negative, so that's going to be in quadrant 3. Okay. Number 2, 15, -6. What quadrant is that going to be in, right? We have a positive x, a negative y, so that's going to be in quadrant 4. Now we have -12, -17, two negatives again. That's quadrant 3. Okay. Number 4, we have -13, +9. So that means I go to the left 13 units and then I go up 9. That's going to put me living in quadrant 2. Now number 5, we go 7 to the right, 18 up. That's going to live in quadrant 1. And I want you to try number 6 on your own. Answer this one in the Edpuzzle question. Okay, so hopefully you looked at this and saw that you're going to go to the left 9 and then you're going to go up 20. You should have said that that puts you in quadrant 2. And finally, the last thing I want to be able to do is actually plot the points. So this very first point here at 1, 3, we go to the right 1 and then we go up 3. So that would live here in quadrant 1. 4, 3. And this is, I find even towards the end of the year, folks will still confuse these. I'm going to go to the right 4, that's the x-coordinate, and then I go up 3. Okay, don't reverse those. I think when we start to study this with the concept of slope is where folks get confused. I'm going to go to the left 3 and then up 1. That puts me at this point here. Now I'm going to go to the left 4 and down 5. So I'm going to go to the left 4 here and then down 5. That point would live right here. 0, 3. That means don't go to the left or right at all. Don't go left or right at all. Just simply go up 3. That's the point 0, 3. This one here says don't go up or down at all. So we're going to go to the right one, but we're not going up or down at all. That's a 0, up or down. 0, 0 is the origin. I don't go anywhere. And then I have 2 to the right, and -3 would put me down here in quadrant 4, 2, -3. So your practice is in Schoology. You have a day 3 algebra review practice in there. Make sure you complete that for your homework assignment.